ಸಂಸಾರದಾವನಲನಿದಲೋಕ ತ್ರಣಯ ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಗಣ ಗಣತ್ವಂ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಸ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಗುಣರ್ನವಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಭೋ ಕೀರ್ತನ ರುಚ್ಯ ಗೀತಾ ವಾದಿತ್ರಮಾದ್ಯಾನ್ ಮನಸೋರಸೇನಾ ರೋಮಾಂಚಕಾಂಪಾಶ್ರುತರಂಗಬಾಜೋ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಶ್ರೀವಿಗ್ರಹಾರಾಧನ ನಿತ್ಯನಾನಾ ಶೃಂಗಾರತಾನ ಮಂದಿರಮರ್ಜನಾದೌ ಯುಕ್ತಸ್ಯ ಭಕ್ತಾಂಶ ನಿಯುಂಜತೋಪಿ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಚತುರ್ವಿಧಾ ಶ್ರೀ ಭಗವತ್ಪ್ರಸಾದೌ ಸ್ವಾದನ ತೃಪ್ತಾನ್ ಹರಿಭಕ್ತ ಸಾಂಗಾನ್ ಕೃತ್ವೈವ ತೃಪ್ತಿಂ ಭಜತ ಸದೈವ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಶ್ರೀರಾಧಿಕಾ ಮಾಧವಯೋರಪಾರ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯಲೀಲಾ ಗುಣರೂಪನಾಮ್ನಾಂ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯಲೀಲಾ ಗುಣರೂಪನಾಮ್ನಾಂ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣಾ ಸ್ವಾಧನಲೋಲುಪಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ निकुंजयो नो रत केली सिद्ध्याय यायाली भेर्युक्तेरपेक्षणीया तत्र त्रिदाक्षादतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् साक्षादरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव शाब्दिः किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायान्तु वांसस्य यशस्वीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोदाभियो लोकालादवमानं परमृष्टमत्यन्ततोतुत्यगोप्यां यशोदाभियो लोकालादवमानं परमृष्टमत्यन्ततोतुत्यगोप्यां रुदं तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुगं रुजन्तं करम्बोजयुग्मेन शान्तकनेत्रम् नेत्रयुगं रुजन्तं करम्बोजयुग्मेन शान्तकनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकं पत्रीरेकान्तकन्त स्थितग्रीवदामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम्
पाशकम्पात्रीरेकाङ्ककन्ता विदग्रैव दामोदरं भक्तिपादम्
इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरनन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तमज्ञापयन्तम् स्वलीलाभिरनन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तमज्ञापयन्तम् तदीयेषितग्नेषु भक्ते जीवत्वं पुनः प्रेम सक्तं सातावृत्ति वन्दे
तदीयेषितग्नेषु भक्ते जीवत्वं
पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सातावृत्ति वन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवदिं वा न चान्यं व्रणेऽहं वरीषदपीह
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवदिं वा न चान्यं व्रणेऽहं वरीषदपीह
इदं ते पुनात गोपालबालं सदा मे मनश्चावीरस्तां किमन्ये इदं तेव पूर्णाता गोपालबालं सदा मे मनश्चावीरस्तां किमन्ये इदं ते मुकाम्बोजमत्यन्तनीलै ऋतं कुन्तलैस्तिग्धरतै च गोप्याम्
इदं ते मुकाम्बोजमत्यन्तनीलै ऋतं कुन्तलैस्तिग्धरतै च गोप्या
मुहुचुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनश्चाविरास्तामालं लक्षलाभे मुहुचुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनश्चाविरास्तामालं लक्षलाभे नमो देव दामोदरनन्त विष्णो प्रसिद्ध प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् दामोदरनन्त विष्णु प्रसिद्ध प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्टातिदिनं बतान गृहाणेश मामज्ञमेदक्षिदृश्याम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्टातिदिनं बतान गृहाणेश मामज्ञम् अदक्षिदृश्या कुबेरात्मजौ बध्यमृतय दत्त्वा त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभजो कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमृतय दत्त्वा त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभजो कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वाकमे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे श्रीदामोदरेह प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे श्रीदामोदरेह नमस्तेस्तु दाम्ने स्फुरतिपि दाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाद विश्वस्य दाम्ने नमस्तेस्तु दाम्ने स्फुरतिपि दाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाद विश्वस्य दाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वादीया प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमो राधिकायै त्वादीया प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Radha Nila Madhava Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Sri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman. Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Bala Subhadra. Narasimha De Jaya, Narasimha De Jaya, Narasimha De Jaya, Pralatmara. Nityai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nityai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnu Pada Brahmamsa Pradaka Acharya Stota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace Aparachana Rinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBTBI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Brahmamsa Pradaka Acharya Stota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री व्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री अयोध्या धाम की जय। गंगा मई की जय। यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। समावृत भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री भीष्म पंचक की जय। श्री दामोदर मास कार्तिक मास की जय। श्री यशोदा दामोदर की जय। श्री राधा दामोदर की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste. Praladadayine. Hiranyakashipurvachaha. Shilantan kanakalaye. Ito narsimho parato narsimho. Yato yato yami tato narsimho. Bahir Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimha Marim Saranam Prapate. Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakam Abhuta Simha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Brinda Kesavatirta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavatirtha Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jayo Narsimhadev, Jayo Narsimhadev, Jayo Narsimhadev, Jayo Narsimhadev. Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki.
Let us recite the translation together. To the Supreme Lord, whose form embodies eternity, knowledge, and bliss, whose ear reaches to and fro, who shines beautifully in Gokula, who quickly ran from the grinding water in Firmadi Yashoda, and who was caught from behind by her, who ran faster than he. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Upon seeing his mother's weeping state, he cried and rubbed his eyes and listened again with his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful, and his quick breathing shook the stranded pearls on his neck, which bore 3 lives while those on a conch shell. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly bound with ropes his nose and pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. With these super excellent childhood pastimes, Lord Krishna drowned the residents of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. In this way, he declared to those absorbed in knowledge his majesty and opulence, unconquered only by my pure loving devotees. With great love, I can offer my obeisances, Lord Damodar, hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, though you can award all kinds of benedictions of praise, neither for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor for the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor for any other such boon. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala of glory and Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what use do I have for any other boon besides this? O Lord, again and again, Mother Yashoda kisses your lotus face, which is framed by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, and beautified by a lips color red like a rainbow fruit. May this vision of a lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands other benedictions of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. Shower me with your merciful glances, and deliver this poor ignorant fool, immersed in an ocean of sorrow, and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, as the baby tied to grinding water, you deliver Kuve's 2 sons from the curse of Narada, and made them into great devotees. In the same way, please give me pure loving devotion for you. I long for this alone and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, obeisance unto the brilliantly refulgent robe binding your belly. Obeisance unto your belly, the abode of the entire universe. Obeisance unto your dear most beloved, Srimati Radharani, and obeisance unto you, O Lord, who displays unlimited power. Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Giraya Keshava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Pate Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha.
Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Giraya Keshava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Pate Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha.
Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Giraya Keshava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Pate Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha.
Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Giraya Keshava Sacha
Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Priyaya Keshava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Pate Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha.
Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Giraya Keshava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Pate Devi
Vrinda Devi Tulasi Maharani ki
Jai.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pao Yei Abhilashi Radha Krishna Seva Pao Yei Abhilashi Ye Tumhara Sharan lo Tara Vancha Purna hoy Ye Tumhara Sharan lo वृंदावनवासी मोरा ये विलास विलास कुंजे दियो वास नयने हेरिबो सदा युगल रूप राशि यही निवेदन दारो साकिरानुगत करो सेवाधिकारो दिए करो निज दासी बिना कृष्ण दासे कोई ये न मोरा होय श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये न बासी दीना कृष्ण दासे कोई ये न मोरा हो श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये न बासी श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये न बासी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। वृंद्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रते देवी सत्यव्रताय नमो नमः। वृंद्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रते देवी सत्यव्रताय नमो नमः। वृंद्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रते देवी सत्यव्रताय नमो नमः। वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Bestow mercy upon him and make him a resident of Vrindavana. My desire is that you also grant me a residence in the precious groves of Shri Vrindavana Dham. Thus within my vision I shall behold the beautiful paths of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow a Karho Danso's Virgin. Please give me the privileged devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter of chanting holy names should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees or dedicate their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider names and demigods like Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent the name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of a spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuing the Vedic version. 5. To consider glorious chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activity in the strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritual activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, karma, ganda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments even after standing so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer most humble obeisances on all Vaishnava devotees, Lord. They are desert trees who can fulfill to everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Jeto Darpana Marjanam Pavamahadavakni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chantrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purunarmita Swadanam Sarvatamasnapanam Paravijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tava Kripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudevami Desham Yaha Janina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunijena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manatena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Jamani Jamanishvare Bhavata Bhaktir Haituki Tvayi Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mang Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthitaturi Satisham Vichintaya Nayanam Garadashurudaraya Vadanam Gadgada Rudaya Gira Pulakai Nichitam Vapurkada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishati Yuga itam nimishena chakshusha pravisha itam shunya itam jagat sarvam govinda virahe name ashirishava padaratam pinnashtumam adarshana marmhatam karotuva yatha tatha va vidathatu lampato madprana nathastu sa eva naparaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes fire of conditional life for repeated births and deaths. This Sankirtan movement is prime benediction for humanity in the large because it expresses the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases ocean transcendental bliss and enable us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction to human beings. Thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out kindness enables us to easily approach you by your holy names. But we are so unfortunate, have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more taller than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your constant devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am an eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one Adam to your lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes bedecked with tears of love flowing constant when I chant the holy name, while my voice choke up, or the hairs of my body stand end recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation, I am considered moment to be like a full millennium. Tears of orange rain, and I feel all vacant in the world in your absence. My Lord, and shall remain so if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything, everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charna prayers ki jai. Om Magyana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya चक्षुमृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवार्षपाणिवि देवी दयिताय कृपब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाद्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्तिविग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाभसिद्धान्तद्वन्द्वहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसम्बोधे पादं पूजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्दिष्टा सजनप्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमपदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरतिशे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणासिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते जयतां श्रद्धोर्भङ्गोर् मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्भोजो राधा मदनमोहनो दिव्यद्वृन्दारण्यखभजुमाद श्रीमद्रानागसिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा शिरगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठारिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्रासरसरम्भि वंशीवत ततः स्थितः कर्षं वेणुसुनिर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विशपानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत दाता श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद्गुरुचरण प्रेयर्स की जय। श्री ब्रह्म संहिता की जय। ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिराद्य गोविंद सर्वकारण कारणम चिंतामणि प्रखर सत्मसुखोपवीक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तं लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुकवनन्तमरविन्ददलायताक्षं पार्हार्वतं समसितां पुतसुन्दरङ्गं गन्धर्वकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्तकलसवनमालवंशि रानाङ्गदं फनयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिपङ्कललितं यत्प्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्तकलिञ्चिरविद्मन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसदुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतमचोत्तमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभम् आत्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्थास्तु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगाम्यो वायुर्यथापि मनसो मुनिपङ्गवानं Sopyasti Yapapata Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Pan Ekoipya Sora Chayitum Jakatanta Kotim Ya Chakti Rasti Jakatanta Chayaya Tantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Pavita Diyo Manujastateva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Bhushaha Suktaryam Eva Nikama Patitai Stuvanti Govindam Hadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimme Rasa Patibhavitabis Tape Evan Jarupa Tayakalabihi Goloka Eva Nivasati Kilatma Bhutto Govindam Hadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sateva Hitayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundam Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalanyamena Tishtan Nanavatarama Makaro Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhava Paramapumam Yo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty, tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold blending form of Shama Sundara is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs that eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure and unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of the blooming youth. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Samasundara, Krishna himself with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of the hearts, with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrisimha, Vamana, etc. as is subject to portions. Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Srinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta histau hi abhadrani vidunoti suhratsatam nashtaprayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye cheta eter anavidam sthitam sattve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगश्च जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिश्चिद्यन्ते सर्व समस्याः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literature or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him.
In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge as he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam, and from the devotees he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By the development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished.
When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the signs of God perfectly.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsayam samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of God's perfection.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsayam samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the signs of Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 26. जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुता श्रीभिर एदात्माना मदः पुमान् नैवार्हति अभिधातुं वै त्वम् अकिंचन गोचरम. Janma, birth, Aishwarya, opulence, Sruta, education, Sribihi, by the possession of beauty, Edamana, progressively increasing, Madaha, intoxication, Puman, the human being, Na, never, Eva, ever, Arhati, deserves, Abhidhatum, to address in feeling, why, certainly, Tvam, you, Akinchana, Gocharam, one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad at after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly, O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the prime power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is quality to such utterances also. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely parentage, high parentage, 2 good health, 3 high education, and 4 attractive beauty, are so to speak disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature, as far as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. There is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign as much as the feeling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God.
Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 27. Namo kinchana vittaya nivritta gnavritte Atma Ramaya Santaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Namaha, all obeisance unto you. Akinchana Vittaya, unto the property of the materially impoverished. Nivritta, completely transcendental to the actions of the material modes. Guna, material modes. Vrittaye, affection. Atma Aramaya, one who is self-satisfied. Santaya, the most gentle. Kaivalya Pataye, unto the master of the monists. Namah, bowing down. Translation: my obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monists. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be, in the real sense of the term, a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world not for nothing but for something tangible in spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. They were big men in the worldly sense. The Goswamis were ministers in the government service of Bengal, and Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami was the son of a big Jamindar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. There is a nice story about Srila Sanatana Goswami. He had a touchstone, and this stone was left in a pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked Sanatana for the most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all the material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only property of a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise, it would not have been kept in such a place. This specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. Advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living being in the bondage of a material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha, or things not wanted. Actually, this is so. In the present context of material advancement, one uses lipstick at a cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. The attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy because even if the moon is reached, the problems of life will not be solved. The devotees of the Lord are called akinchanas because they have practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of three modes of material nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus, the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with the material activities. All his acts and deeds which are exhibited even in this material world are spiritual and without affection for the modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance or disappearance, in and out of the material world are transcendental. And one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to Godhead. The material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to an interaction of the three modes of nature, and neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachment for such false enjoyment. Therefore, the Lord and the devotees are called Nivritta Gunavritti. The perfect Nivritta Gunavrittis is the Supreme Lord because he never becomes attracted by the modes of material nature, whereas the living beings have such a tendency. Some of them are entrapped by the illusory attraction of material nature. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees, and the devotees are the property of the Lord reciprocally, the devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is a natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries and poverty or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. The unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendentally attached to one another. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is called Atma Rama, self-satisfied. Self-satisfied as he is the master of all monists who seek to merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monists merge within the personal effulgence of the Lord called the Brahma Jyoti. But the devotees enter into the transcendental pastimes of Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 28. Manyetvam kalam ishanam anadi nidanam vibhum samam karcharantam sarvatra bhutanam yan mitaha kaliha. Manye, I consider, Tvam, your leadership, Kalam, the eternal time, Ishanam, the Supreme Lord, Anadi Nidanam, without beginning and end, Vibhum, all pervading, Samam, equally merciful, Charnatam, distributing, Sarvatra, everywhere, Bhutanam, of the living beings, Yat Mitaha, by intercourse, Kalihi, dissension. Translation. My Lord, I consider your leadership to be eternal time, your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are all equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. The purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kunti Devi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew or an ordinary family member of her paternal house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as a super soul, Paramatma. Another name of the Paramatma feature of the Lord is Kala, or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant reactions are destined by Him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at this present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion, and therefore He knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of Lord Krishna disdains all actions and reactions. He is the supreme controller also. Without His sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kala. The Kala offers the conditioned soul both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined by eternal time. As we have miseries uncalled for, so we may have happiness also without being asked. For they are all predestined by Kala. No one is therefore either an enemy or friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the result of his own destiny. This destiny is made by the living beings in the course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and therefore He can see everyone's activities. And because the Lord has no beginning or end, He is known also the eternal time, Kala.
Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 29. Naveda kasched bhagavanschikirstitam tavehamanasya nrinam vidhambanam na yasya kaschid dayitoschikarshid dveshyascha chayasmin vishmam matirnranam. Na does not, Veda known, kaschid anyone, Bhagavan, O Lord, chikirstitam past times, tava your, ihamanasya like the worldly men, nranam of the people in general, vidambanam misleading, na never, yasya his, kaschit anyone, dayittaha object of specific favor, asti there is, karhichit anywhere, dveshaha object of envy, cha and yasmin unto him, vishama partiality, matih conception, ranam of the people. Translation. O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord's mercy upon the fallen souls is equally distributed. He has no one as the specific object of hostility. The very conception of the personality of Godhead as a human being is misleading. His pastimes appear to be exactly like a human being's, but actually they are transcendental and without any tinge of material contamination. He is undoubtedly known as partial to his pure devotees, but in fact he is never partial, as much as the sun is never partial to anyone. By utilizing the sun rays, sometimes even the stones become valuable, whereas a blind man cannot see the sun, although there are enough sun rays before him. Darkness and light are two opposite conceptions, but this does not mean that the sun is partial in distributing its rays. The sun rays are open to everyone, but the capacities of the receptacles differ. Foolish people think that the devotional service is flattering the Lord to get special mercy. Factually, the pure devotees who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord are not a mercantile community. A mercantile house renders service to someone in exchange for values. The pure devotee does not render service unto the Lord for such exchange, and therefore the full mercy of the Lord is open for him. Suffering men, needy men, inquisitive persons, or philosophers make temporary connections with the Lord to serve a particular purpose. When the purpose is served, there is no more relative with the Lord. A suffering man, if he is pious at all, prays to the Lord for his recovery. But as soon as the recovery is over, in most cases, the suffering man no longer cares to keep any connection with the Lord. The mercy of the Lord is open for him, but he is reluctant to receive it. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a mixed devotee. Those who are completely against the service of the Lord are considered to be in abject darkness. Those who ask for the Lord's favor only at the time of necessity are partial recipients of the mercy of the Lord, and those who are 100% engaged in the service of the Lord are full recipients of the mercy of the Lord. Such partiality in receiving the Lord's mercy is relative to the recipient, and it is not due to the partiality of the all-merciful Lord. When the Lord descends on this material world by his all-merciful energy, he plays like a human being, and therefore it appears that the Lord is partial to his devotees only. But that is not a fact. Despite such apparent manifestation of partiality, his mercy is equally distributed. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, all persons who died in the fight before the presence of the Lord got salvation without the necessary qualifications, because death before the presence of the Lord purifies the passing soul from the effects of all sins, and therefore the dying man gets a place somewhere in the transcendental abode. Somehow or other, if someone puts himself open in the sun rays, he is sure to get the requisite benefit both by heat and by ultraviolet rays. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Lord is never partial. It is wrong for the people in general to think of him as partial.
Janma karma cha vishwatman ajasya karturatmanaha tiryan rishishu yadashu tadatyanta vidambanam. Janma, birth, karma, activity, cha, and vishwatman, O soul of the universe, ajasya, of the unborn, akartuhu, of the inactive, atmanaha, of the vital energy, tiryak, animal, human being, rishishu, in the sages, yadashu, in the water, tat, that, atyanta, veritable, vidambanam, bewildering. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Oh, of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work, though you are inactive, and that you take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend among animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord are not bewildering but also apparently. Huh? Yeah. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord are not only bewildering but also apparently contradictory. In other words, they are all inconceivable to the limited thinking power of the human being. The Lord is the all prevailing super soul of all existence, and yet he appears in the form of a boar against the animals, in the form amongst the animals, in the form of a human being as Rama, Krishna, etc., in the form of a rishi like Narayana, and in the form of an aquatic like a fish. Yet it is said that he is unborn and he has nothing to do. In the Shruti mantra, it is said that the Supreme Brahman has nothing to do. No one is equal to or greater than him. He has manifold energies, and everything is performed by him perfectly by automatic knowledge, strength, and activity. All these statements prove without question that the Lord's activities, forms, and deeds are all inconceivable to our limited thinking power, and because he is inconceivably powerful, everything is possible in him. Therefore, no one can calculate him exactly. Every action of the Lord is bewildering to the common man. He cannot be understood by the Vedic knowledge, but he can be easily understood by the pure devotees because they are intimately related with him. The devotees therefore know that although he appears among the animals, he is not an animal, nor a man, nor a rishi, nor a fish. He is eternally the Supreme Lord in all circumstances.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 31. Gopi adade tvai kartaga sitamat tavat yate dasasru kalinganjana sambramaksham vaktram ninya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya samam vimohayati bir abhiyad bibheti. Gopi, the cowherd lady, Yashoda, Adade took up Tvai on your Kritagasi, creating disturbances by breaking the butter pot, Dama, rope, Tavat, at that time, Ya, that which, Te, your, Dasha, situation, Asru Kalila, overflooded with tears, Anjana, ointment, Sambrama, perturbed, Aksham, eyes, Vaktram, face, Ninya, downwards, Bhaya Bhavanaya, by thoughts of fear, Stitasya, of the situation, Sa, that, Ma, may, Vimohayati, bewilders, Bhi, api, even fear personified, Yat, whom, Bibeti is afraid. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you are afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Here is another explanation of the bewilderment created by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme in all circumstances, as already explained. Here is a specific example of the Lord's being the Supreme and at the same time a plaything in the presence of his pure devotee. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord out of unalloyed love only, and while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord also accepts the loving service of his devotees more relishably when the service is rendered spontaneously out of pure affection, without anything is reverential admiration. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by the devotees in a reverential attitude, but the Lord is meticulously pleased when the devotee, out of pure affection and love, considers the Lord to be less important than himself. The Lord's pastimes in the original abode of Goloka Vrindavana are exchanged in that spirit. The friends of Krishna consider him one of them. They do not consider him to be of reverential importance. The parents of the Lord, who are all pure devotees, consider him a child only. The Lord accepts the chastisements of the parents more cheerfully than the prayers of the Vedic hymns. Similarly, he accepts the reproaches of his fiancés more palatably than the Vedic hymns. When Lord Krishna was present in this material world to manifest his eternal pastimes of the transcendental realm of Goloka Vrindavana as an attraction for the people in general, he displayed a unique picture of subordination before his foster mother Yashoda. The Lord, in his naturally childish, playful activities, used to spoil the stocked butter of Mother Yashoda by breaking the pots and distributing the contents to his friends and playmates, including the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavana, who took advantage of the Lord's munificence. Mother Yashoda saw this, and out of her pure love, she wanted to make a show of punishment for her transcendental child. She took a rope and threatened the Lord that she would tie him up, as generally done in the ordinary household. Seeing the rope in the hands of Mother Yashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and began to weep just like a child, and tears rolled down his cheeks, washing out the black ointment smeared through about his beautiful eyes. This picture of the Lord is adored by Kunti Devi because she is conscious of the Lord's supreme position. He is feared often by fear personified, yet he is afraid of his mother, who wanted to punish him just in an ordinary manner. Kunti was conscious of the exalted position of Krishna, whereas Yashoda was not. Therefore, Yashoda's position was more exalted than Kunti's. Mother Yashoda got the Lord as her child, and the Lord made her forget altogether that her child was the Lord himself. If Mother Yashoda had been conscious of the exalted position of the mother, she would certainly have hesitated to punish the Lord. But she was made to forget this situation because the Lord wanted to make a complete gesture of childishness before the affectionate Yashoda. This exchange of love between the mother and the son was performed in a natural way, and Kunti, remembering the scene, was bewildered, and she could do nothing but praise the transcendental filial love. Indirectly, Mother Yashoda is praised for her unique position of love, for she could control even the all-powerful Lord as her beloved child.
Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 32. Kechidahur ajam jatam punya slokasya kirtaye yadau priyasya vavaye malayasya chandanam. Kechid, someone. Ahu says, ajam, the unborn, jatam, being born, punya slokasya, of the great pious king, kirtaye, for glorifying, yadau, of King Yadu, priyasya, of the dear, anvavaye, in the family of, malayasya, Malaya hills, iva, as, chandanam, sandalwood. Translation. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Because the Lord's appearance in this material world is bewildering, there are different opinions about the birth of the unborn. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he takes his birth in the material world, although he is the Lord of all creations and he is unborn. So there cannot be any denial of the birth of the unborn because he himself establishes the truth. But still, there are different opinions as to why he takes his birth. That is also declared in the Bhagavad Gita. He appears by his own internal potency to re-establish the principles of religion and to protect the pious and to annihilate the impious. That is the mission of the appearance of the unborn. Still, it is said that the Lord is there to glorify the pious king Yudhishthira. Lord Sri Krishna certainly wanted to establish the kingdom of the Pandavas for the good of all in the world. When there is pious king ruling over the world, the people are happy. When the ruler is impious, the people are unhappy. In the age of Kali, in most cases, the rulers are impious, and therefore the citizens are also continuously unhappy. But in the case of democracy, the impious citizens themselves elect the representative to rule over them, and therefore they cannot blame anyone for their unhappiness. Maharaj Nala was also celebrated as a great pious king, but he had no connection with the Lord Krishna. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhishthira is meant here to be glorified by Lord Krishna. The Lord had already glorified King Yadu, having taken birth in his family. Although he is known as Yadava, Yaduvira, and Yadunandana, etc., he is always independent of such obligation. He is just like the sandalwood that grows in the Malaya hills. Trees can grow anywhere and everywhere, yet, because the sandalwood trees grow mostly in the area of the Malaya hills, the name sandalwood and the Malaya hills are interrelated. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Lord is ever unborn like the sun, and yet he appears as the sun rises on the eastern horizon. As the sun is never the sun of the eastern horizon, so the Lord is no one's son, but he is the father of everything that be.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 33. Apare Vasudevasya Devakayam Yachito Abhyagat Ajastvam Ashaya Khemamaya Vadya Cha Sura Divusham. Apare, others, Vasudevasya, of Vasudeva, Devakyam, of Devaki, Yachitaha, being prayed for, Abhyagat, took birth, Ajaha, unborn, Tvam, you are, Asya, of him, Kshemaya, of the God, for the good, Vadaya, for the purpose of killing, Cha, and Sura Divsham, of those who are envious of the demigods. Translation. Others says that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is also said that Vasudeva and Devaki, in their previous birth as Sutapa Prisni and Prisni, underwent a severe type of penance to get the Lord as their son. And as a result of such austerities, the Lord appeared as their son. It is already declared in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord appears for the welfare of all people of the world and to vanquish the asuras, or the materialistic atheist.
Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 34. Bharavata ranayanye bhuvo nava ivo dadhau sidantya bhuri bharena jato hi atma bhuvartitaha. Bhara avataranya, just to reduce the burden to the world. Anye, others. Bhuvaha, of the world. Navaha, boat. Iva, like. Udadhav, on the sea. Sidantyaha, aggrieved. Bhuri, extremely. Bharena, by the burden. Jataha, you were born. He, certainly. Atma bhuva, by Brahma. Artitaha, being prayed for. Translation. Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Purport. Brahma, or the first living being born just after the creation, is the direct son of Narayana. Narayana, as Garbhodakasayi Vishnu, first of all entered the material universe. Without spiritual contact, matter cannot create. This principle was followed from the very beginning of the creation. The Supreme Spirit entered the universe, and the first living being, Brahma, was born on a lotus flower grown out of the transcendental abdomen of Vishnu. Vishnu is therefore known as Padmanabha. Brahma is known as Atma Bhu, because he was begotten directly from the father without any contact of mother Lakshmi ji. Lakshmi ji was present near Narayana, engaged in the service of the Lord, and still without contact with Lakshmi ji, Narayana begot Brahma. That is the omnipotency of the Lord. One who foolishly considers Narayana like other living beings should take a lesson from this. Narayana is not an ordinary living being. He is the personality of Godhead himself, and he has all the potencies of all the senses in all parts of his transcendental body. An ordinary living being begets a child by sexual intercourse, and he has no other means to beget a child other than the one designed for him. But Narayana, being omnipotent, is not bound to any condition of energy. He is complete and independent to do anything and everything by his various potencies very easily and perfectly. Brahma is therefore directly the son of the father and was not put into the womb of a mother. Therefore, he is known as Atmabhu. This Brahma is in charge of further creations in the universe, secondarily reflected by the potency of the omnipotent. Within the halo of the universe, there is a transcendental planet known as Svetadvipa, which is the abode of the Kshirodakasayi Vishnu, the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord. Whenever there is a trouble in the universe that cannot be solved by the administrative demigods, they approach Brahmaji for a solution. And if it is not to be solved even by Brahmaji, then Brahmaji consults and prays to the Kshirodakasayi Vishnu for an incarnation and solution to the problems. Such a problem arose when Kamsa and others were ruling over the earth, and the earth became too much overburdened by the misdeeds of the Asuras. Brahmaji, along with other demigods, prayed at the shore of Kshirodaka ocean, and they were advised of the descent of Krishna as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. So, some people say that the Lord appeared because of the prayers of Brahmaji.
Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 35. Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karminihi Shravanasmaranarhani karishyan iti kechana. Bhave, in the material creation, asmin, this, klishyamananam, of those who are suffering from, avidya, nations, kama, desire, karma bihi, by the execution of repetitive work, Shravana, hearing, smarana, remembering, arhani, worshipping, karishyan, may perform, iti, thus, kechana, others. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And yet others say that you appear to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditional soul suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord asserts that He appears in every millennium just to re-establish the way of religion. The way of religion is made by the Supreme Lord. No one can manufacture a new path of religion as is a fashion for certain ambitious persons. The factual way of religion is to accept the Lord as a supreme authority and thus render service unto Him in spontaneous love. A living being cannot help but render service because he is constitutionally made for that purpose. The only function of the living being is to render service to the Lord. The Lord is great and the living beings are subordinate to Him. Therefore, the duty of the living being is to just serve Him only. Unfortunately, the illusion living beings, out of misunderstanding only, become servants of the senses by material desire. This desire is called avidya or nations. And out of such desire, the living being makes different plans for material enjoyment centered about a perverted sex life. He therefore becomes entangled in the chain of birth and death by transmigrating into different bodies on different planets under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Unless, therefore, one is beyond the boundary of these nations, one can get free from the threefold miseries of material life. That is the law of nature. The Lord, however, out of his causeless mercy, because he is more merciful to the suffering living beings than they can expect, appears before them and renovates the principles of devotional service comprised of hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, cooperating, and surrendering unto him. Adoption of all the above mentioned items or any one of them can help a conditioned soul get out of the tangle of nations and thus become liberated from all material sufferings created by the living being illusion by the material energy, by the external energy. This particular type of mercy is bestowed upon by the living being by the Lord in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Gandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Today we read until Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 35. We'll continue reading tomorrow. Hare Krishna. I had the same thing in my mind.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bandhamui Savadhana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhava Toriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoyte Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Arna Kori Ho Mane Asha श्री गुरु चराने रति ऐसे उत्तमा गति। जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्वा आशा। चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से। दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो। प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते। वेदे गाय जहाँ चरितो। श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनार बंधु। श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनार बंधु। लोके नाथ लोके राजीवाना। हाँ हाँ प्रभु कोरो दोया देहो मोरे पादा छाया। हाँ हाँ प्रभु कोरो दोया देहो मोरे पादा छाया। ए बेजास गुशुक त्रिभुवाना। श्रील प्रभुपाद पतिता पावाना। जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा। जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Chaitanya Nityananda Shrivasadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Chaitanya Nityananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bowed to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opened my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates, by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Lokanath Goswami, O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter of your lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.